Guys, I have a massive book haul. I have over 25 books. At this point, it could even be 30. I'm not quite sure. The last time I counted, it was just over 25. Within the past month and a half, I have just gotten so many books. And I had prided myself for such a long time, for 2 years. I had never bought a book full price except for 2 books, which were Wild Reverence and this compilation of American classic short stories. I was so proud of myself. And then this happened. I got a kick again. I just got back into the zone of where I had been 2 years ago when I was buying books here and there. Granted, I didn't buy all of these full price. And we will get to that. Some of these I got for free, actually. But all of them are so cool, and I'm so excited to show them to you. Let's begin with some packages that I bought. All of this did begin with a kick of wanting to spend money on brand new books. So I'll show you those first. I've got some packages right here. Some of them I have opened, some of them I have not. The first one I did open because I began this right away. It is a Bible in a Yearbook for women. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I definitely read the Bible. I want to be able to say that I read it entirely, and obviously it's worth reading it entirely as well. So I've started this, and I'm on week 3 currently. I've been really enjoying my time with it, and it's also just stunning. The pictures for every week are incredible. I like this one especially. You're not reading the Bible cover to cover. You focus on like a certain topic every week, and so then there's like a one long meditation for each week. So that kind of covers everything, and you can kind of consider that while you're reading these chapters. So I have been enjoying this. It feels really good to be reading the Bible every single day. And I've actually been keeping up with it. Here's another package from Amazon. I ordered this because I've been wanting this book for about a year, and I had asked for it for like Christmas and my birthday, and I never got it. So I was like, okay, I need to get it myself. It's an independent book, so that's why I can't just go to the library and get it. This is In Plain Sight by Leslie Wall. It's a romance. It's the 3rd book in a series. I love her. She's Christian fiction, so really great. This one I have not opened yet. This is the next book in a series that I loved during 2025. This is the I Am Margaret series. Not about me, but it's a Christian fiction dystopian series, and this one I think is a novella, but I had all the books because I was borrowing them, all the first 4 books because I was borrowing them from my friend, and suddenly I finished the 4th book and I'm like, I need the next one, so I ordered it. There it is. She Goes by Margot, and so it's Margot's Diary by Corinna Turner. So it's much shorter than the rest, but oh, it's gonna be cool. It's so cool. Look at those books on the back. They're all so epic. I'm so excited to continue this series. Like, I'm gonna like pick it up so fast. Why don't I show you these guys? These are some random books that I got from people that I know. I'm excited about them. Okay, so this one was just my boss gave it to me. All of us are reading this book together. We're having a book discussion. Redeeming Conflict, 12 Habits for Christian Leaders. This is not because we're having like trouble at work with each other. It's just like a really good thing to have like this knowledge of, especially since we work with people. I'm being very vague because I'm not ready to disclose like what I do. So these 2 I got from one of my best friends, and all of this came from going book shopping with her. And 2 years ago was when we went book shopping a lot together, and so we decided suddenly that we wanted to go book shopping again, and I kind of just let it all out, and I allowed myself to get a lot. But these ones she didn't want anymore. She hasn't read them, but she's very specific about like what copies of books that she has, because she's like, I don't want a book on my shelf that I don't like, the edition that I don't care for. Like, if I'm gonna own it, I want it to be the edition that I like. So she gave me Deep Cuts by Holly Black. And if you've been on my channel, in the fall, I released this short where I talked about the books that were having movie adaptations that I was excited to read. And I forgot to mention Deep Cuts, but I didn't mention it in the comments. Probably nobody saw that, but this is one of the ones that I was looking forward to because at the time it was being adapted into a film and it was going to star Austin Butler and Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse Ronan is one of my favorite actresses of all time. I think she's phenomenal. One of my favorite movies ever is Little Women. I've also seen so many of her other films. I think she's so cool. Austin Butler is also really cool. Like, he's a great actor, and I think they would have been really good together in this, but they recently switched up the cast. So I'm actually not as interested in reading this, but I do remember Haley Pham talking about this a lot, and she was like, I actually really liked this, and I was not expecting to because it's about music, and I'm not like a musician or anything. I also am really grateful that I got this copy because the other copy has like these two people on it, and I don't like that. I much prefer this copy. And then my friend has an Owl Crate subscription. If you don't know what that is, it's like the special editions of all special editions. It's insane. So you probably saw a little glimpse of it. That's just the sprayed edges. Like, stunning. Okay. That's the cover. It's Graceless Heart. This is one of my anticipated reads. It has a blurb from Rebecca Ross on the original cover, and that was really what made me want to read it because I have enjoyed Rebecca Ross's books. There are things in her books too that I don't really like, but overall I do really like her books. Recently released, I think it's going to be a series. On the back it says, magic was a terrifying, awful thing. It's stunning. And we've got some art on the insides. Literally crazy. We've got, oh my gosh, we've got like inside art. We've got this thingy, whatever that is. Like, insane. Insane. I'm like, you're getting rid of this? Because she likes the original copy better. She saw this and she was like, oh, I want that. And so she ordered it. And then she was like, you know what? I actually like the original copy. Which I do agree. The original copy is very beautiful. So I get it. And I'm fine with it because I got this copy. Like, what the heck? Why would I complain? Why would I tell her? Why would you do that? Because absolutely, go ahead. Give me all of your Owl Crate editions. Like, absolutely. We're gonna do another unboxing. I wanted to say this because I did order this basically immediately after I did my Amazon haul. But I didn't want to like open all the boxes because unboxing is just so fun. I didn't want to do that all at the beginning. So why don't we do this now? I ordered 2 books. Again, I was just like on this buying spree. I usually for book of the month, because I haven't heard of them, I don't like want to buy them. And usually the premises that I read about don't excite me. But for this, one of them did excite me. And then the other one, I actually had heard good things about. Like, my cousin, she's like a bookstagrammer, and she had gotten an ARC copy of one of these. So she had already read it, and she was like, it's really good. Let's look at it. Okay, whoa, okay. We just gotta pull out one at a time. A good animal. And I think this might actually be an ARC, although it's probably out now because I ordered this so long ago. This is my first time unboxing it, so this is my first time seeing it. It's actually kind of thin. Like, when I got this box, I was expecting it to be big because I ordered 2 books. But literally, I love that cover. It's like a literary fiction. It's about like a family, and it sounded really good. I forgot I was going to read the blurbs of all of these for you. We'll just do that from now on. I don't want to have to go back in time. But so also, because I have a subscription, I get it for less. So it's not like I was even buying these full price either. They were like $11 each, which is so much less than you would buy it in the bookstore. Staying is his dream, leaving is hers. One secret threatens them both. In the farm country outside Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, a border town where life moves slow and dreams run fast, most kids want out. Not Everett Lind. He's set on staying put, rebuilding his family's sheep farm, and carving a future for the land he loves. Then he meets Mary, a new girl in town who's restless with energy and bigger plans. When their relationship reaches a crossroads, Everett sees a life together. Mary, however, is desperate to find a way out. Together, they make an impulsive choice, one that could change everything. Tense, lyrical, and deeply felt, Sarah Maurer's unforgettable debut breathtakingly captures the ache of first love, the beauty and brutality of rural life, and how one decision can echo through generations and shape who we become. I thought that sounded really interesting. So this is the one that just sounded really interesting, and I wanted to get it. So excited to get it. My friend who I've been talking about, I recently referred her, so she got the same book. So I'm very excited to kind of like both of us read it and we can talk about it. Now I've got another book. Oh, the cover's different. This one's like very interesting, but this one's more smoother. It's Not Her by Mary Kubica. So this is a thriller. This is the one that my cousin read, and it just looked so interesting. Just looking at it now, I want to read it now. I love how Book of the Month, like, they don't have anything on the back. It's just beautiful. When I first read this, I thought it was like a Western book because the shape just, every time I look at it, it looks like a buffalo. And I don't know if that's just because how my mind is conditioned because I've spent so much time in the West, but it looks like a buffalo to me. But I realized that that's a tree and a lake and a lake house or something like that. Let's read what it says. A stunning discovery, a shocking investigation, a truth no one could have imagined. Courtney Gray's tranquil family vacation is shattered when she hears a blood-curdling scream from the Lakeview cottage next door. There she finds the lifeless bodies of her brother and sister-in-law. Her teenage niece Reese is nowhere to be found, while her nephew Wyatt lies asleep upstairs unharmed. As the police descend on the quiet resort town, disturbing secrets about Courtney's family start to emerge. When she learns that the town has secrets of its own, it makes her wonder if Reese is another victim in the brutal crime, or if she's the killer. Courtney begins... I don't know if you can hear the truck. There's like a garbage truck going by. It's not garbage day, though. I don't know. Courtney begins to unravel the terrible mystery, but everyone around her has something to hide, and the closer she gets to the truth, the harder it is to see it. Oh, it just sounds so interesting. And a lot of other people have read it at this point, and I've heard just good things about it. I'm really excited. I've been trying to get like more into thrillers. I think they're really fun, so excited. Oh! Oh. I don't know if this is like part of a book or something. It's a bookmark. Cool. I forgot it comes with a bookmark. Let's do another stack of books. These ones I got from a thrift store. So let's begin. We've got Killers of the Flower Moon. This is a true crime story. One of my friends, who's probably watching this right now, read it, and I remember her saying that she really liked it. This is by David Graham. It says The Osage Murders. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. And the Birth of the FBI. In the 1920s, the richest people per capita in the world were members of the Osage Nation in Oklahoma. After oil was discovered beneath their land, they rode in chauffeured cars and lived in mansions. Then, one by one, the Osage began to be killed. Molly Burkett watched as her family became a prime target. Her relatives were shot and poisoned. Other Osage were also dying under mysterious circumstances, and many of those who investigated the crimes were themselves murdered. As the death toll rose, the case was taken up by the newly created FBI and its young secretive director, J. Edgar Hoover. Struggling to crack the mystery, Hoover turned to former Texas Ranger named Tom White, who put together an undercover team including a Native American agent. They infiltrated this last remnant of the Wild West, and together the Osage began to explode one of the most chilling conspiracies in American history. Wow, that sounds so interesting. Especially after I read The Devil in the White City. Like, it just makes me think, like, it's going to be the same thing. And, that was so good. I'm so excited. Because this thrift store just didn't have very many books, any book that I just recognized, I got. Again, it's just, like, I was in this weird phase where I was just, like, I need to buy books. Give them to me. So I got romances. I mean, I'm not that kind of girl, but I got them. So, I got The Honeymooners by Christina Lauren. I think I remember Haley Pham liking this. I've seen other people talk about it. Let's read what it's about. For two sworn enemies on the Hawaiian trip of a lifetime, anything can happen, maybe even love. In this romantic comedy from the New York Times bestselling author of Roomies. Okay, so it sounds like an enemies to lovers. Maybe interesting. Let's look at this pile. I got some more romances, okay? So these I got all for $1 at my library. They didn't want these books anymore, so I took them. There is a novel love story by Ashley Poston. Her writing sounds really interesting to me because she writes magical realism. So let's read what this is about. Love is stranger than fiction. Eileen, Elsie, Merriweather, loves to get lost in a good, happily ever after. The fictional kind, anyway, because at least imaginary men don't leave you at the altar. Ooh. She feels safe in stories, at home in books. Me too. Which might be why she's so set on going to her book club's annual retreat this year. She needs good friends, cheap wine, and good romantic gestures, no matter what. When her car unexpectedly breaks down on the way, she finds herself stranded in a quaint town that seems like it's right out of a novel. Because it is. I'm just going to quit there. That's basically what it's about. I got another book by Christina Lauren. This is The Paradise Problem, which I do remember Haley Pham talking about. And I read, on the back of it, it's two people. There's Christina and Lauren. And then they, became Christina Lauren because they write books together. That's the pen name that they use. Okay, Christina Lauren, the instant New York Times bestselling author and reigning romance queens. Anna Green thought she was marrying Liam Weston for access to subsidized family housing while at UCLA. She also thought she signed divorce papers when the Guardian caps were tossed, and they both went on their merry ways. 3 years later, Anna is a starving artist living paycheck to paycheck, while Liam is a Stanford professor. He may be one of 4 heirs in the Weston food conglomerate. I don't know what that is. But he has little interest in working for the heartless corporation his family built up from the ground up. He is interested, however, in his $100 million inheritance. There's just one catch. Due to an antiquated clause in his grandfather's will, Liam can't claim the money until he's been happily married for 5 years. Just when Liam thinks he's in the home stretch, pressure mounts from his family to see this mysterious spouse, and he has no chance but to turn to the one person he's afraid to introduce to his one preceptor parents, his unpolished, not so ex-wife. But in the presence of his family, Liam's fears quickly shift from whether the feisty, foul-mouthed, paint-splattered Anna can play the part to whether the toxic world of wealth will corrupt someone as pure of heart as his surprisingly grounded and supportive wife. Liam will have to ask himself if the price tag on the flimsy cover story is worth losing true love that sprouted from a lie. Actually sounds really interesting. That was the first time I read that. So, I'm intrigued. Maybe I will read romances at some point. Let me know if you've read any of those. That's it for the romances. We have a lot of fantasy coming up. My favorite genre, basically. Okay, I have never heard of these before, but they sound so good. We've got The Splendor by Brianna Shields. You just gotta look at this cover. Look at it. Feast your eyes. So cool. When I saw the cover, I was like, okay, we need it. We need to see. We need to look. They've heard the legends. Everyone had. But was it true that the splendor could make you feel like you were falling in love? Like you were singing on a stage in front of thousands of adoring fans? Like you were flying? Everyone said the splendor could give things you didn't even know you wanted. She hoped they were right. Dum dum dum. It sounds really interesting. I am intrigued. Then we've got a series. I usually don't buy a whole series. Oh, except with Keeper of the Lost Cities. I did buy more books that I hadn't read yet. But yeah, usually I buy one book at a time. But obviously these were all $1 and they had the books there. What if somebody took the other ones? So I took both of them. It's just a duology. This is the entire series. So this is Grim Lovelies. I'll show you the first book by Megan Shepherd. Again, the cover just really intrigues me. Literally so cool. The back says, steal the spell, keep the magic, beat the clock. 17-year-old Anouk envies the human world where people known as pretties lavish fast cars and high fashion on themselves and have the freedom to fall in love. But Anouk can never have those things because she is not really human, enchanted from animal to human girl and forbidden to venture beyond her familiar Parisian prison. Anouk is a beastie, destined for a life surrounded by dust bunnies and cinders, serving Maida Victoria, the evil witch who spelled her into existence. That is, until one day she finds her mistress murdered in a pool of blood, and Anouk is accused of the crime. So it's also a murder mystery. And now the world she has dreamed of is rife with danger, pursued through Paris by the underground magical society known as the Hot. Anouk and her fellow beasties have only 3 days to find the real killer before the spell keeping them human fades away. If they fail, they will lose the only lives they've ever known. But if they succeed, they could be more powerful than anyone ever bargained for. That's so cool. Okay, so it's called Grim Lovelies, and I'm kind of wondering if it's supposed to kind of take from the Grimm's fairy tales. I'm not sure, but yeah, it looked really interesting. And then there's the second one. It's thicker, actually. Slightly. I'll just read the back of it. Survive the fire, spark alliances, ignite the power within. Midnight Beauties. I love it. I have a whole new series that I get to get into. Okay. More books from the library. Let's go. We've got Orbiting Jupiter by Gary D. Schmidt. I actually don't know what this is about, but I'm pretty sure Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day liked it. I'm pretty sure. It looked familiar. When Jack meets his new foster brother, he already knows 3 things about him. Joseph almost killed a teacher. He was incarcerated at a place called Stone Mountain. He has a daughter. Her name is Jupiter, and he has never seen her. What Jack doesn't know at first is how desperate Joseph is to find his baby girl, or how urgently he, Jack, will want to help. But the past can't be shaken off. Even as new bonds form, old wounds reopen. The search for Jupiter demands more from Jack than he can imagine. This tender, heartbreaking novel is Gary D. Schmidt at his best. It sounds heartbreaking. Ooh, like it sounds heavy. And it's so short. But it sounds so interesting. I am very, very curious. And then this book I have been eyeing, the one that I'm about to show you, I've been eyeing. Like, it's been sitting on the floor in these piles. And I keep on eyeing it. I'm like, ooh, I just want to pick it up and have a fun time. Ready? One of Us is Lying. A mystery, like a thriller. Just YA. I'm just ready to sit down and just binge it, you know? Let's read this. Pay close attention and you might solve this. Can we solve it from just this? Let's see. Monday afternoon, 5 students at Bayview High walk into detention. Rowan, the brain, is Yale-bound and never breaks a rule. Addie, the beauty, is the picture-perfect homecoming princess. Nate, the criminal, is already on probation for dealing. Cooper, the athlete, is the all-star baseball pitcher. And Simon, the outcast, is the creator of the Bayview High's notorious gossip app. Only Simon never makes it out of that classroom. Before the end of detention, Simon's dead, and according to investigators, his death wasn't an accident. On Monday, he died, but on Tuesday, he'd planned to post juicy reveals about all 4 of his high-profile classmates, which makes all 4 of them suspects in this murder. Or are they just the perfect patsies for a killer who's still on the loose? Everyone has secrets, right? What really matters is how far you would go to protect them. So, for a few of these, I read the first page. I couldn't stop. Like, I started reading a couple more pages. Hopefully I will read this one soon. I'm a slow reader, so it's hard for me to finish a book, and I I usually have like about like 4 books going on at once, but I do kind of have this TBR in my mind, so I have several books that I still need to get to before I can just pick up another one. So I would still like to read it at some point very soon. Next up, I can't believe I found this. Gilded by Marissa Meyer. I didn't realize that this book even existed, and at first I thought it was part of the Lunar Chronicles, which I have not read, and I was like, oh, it's probably like the 5th book in the Lunar Chronicles, like that wouldn't work. But I learned that it's actually completely separate, and it's either, I think it's a standalone, or it just has like one other book in the series. So I love Marissa Meyer. I've read Heartless, and I've read the Supernova series, the Renegade series. I liked both of them a lot, and I would definitely like to get into more of her books. This one is a retelling of Rumpelstiltskin, which was one of my favorite fairy tales growing up, because I just thought it was so unique and just really interesting, and I have never read a retelling of it before, so I think that would be really cool. Long ago, cursed by the god of lies, a miller's daughter has developed a talent for spinning stories that are fantastical and spellbinding and entirely untrue, or everyone believes. When one of Cyrilda's outlandish tales draws the attention of the sinister Earl King and his undead hunters, so alive hunters? What? Okay. She finds herself swept away into a grim world with ghouls and phantoms, where ghouls and phantoms prowl the earth. How-eyed ravens track her every move. The king orders Cyrilda to complete the impossible task of spinning straw into gold, or be killed for telling falsehoods. In her desperation, Cyrilda unwittingly summons a mysterious boy to her aid. He agrees to help her for a price. Soon Cyrilda realizes that there is more than one secret hidden in the castle walls, including an ancient curse that must be broken if she hopes to end the tyranny of the king and his wild hunt forever. I would love to read more fantasy. It's one of my favorite genres, and I need to get more into it. I'm so excited for this one. Okay, let's open another package, shall we? I got a couple of packages from Goodreads. One of them I already opened. This was actually long before my whole buying streak. I hadn't actually been planning on showing you, because it was just one singular book. I started getting all of these, and I was like, oh, I could do a book haul. And I was like, oh, I hadn't shown you this one, because usually when I get new books, I send out a little short. But I was like, I haven't shown this one yet, so I can include this in my book haul. So this is one of them. It is In Her Defense by Philippa Malika. I was really just drawn in by the cover. I just like it because I like that like painted look. Whenever I enter these Goodreads giveaways, I don't even look at what it's about. I just look at the cover. Or like the genre. As a sensational celebrity libel trial unfolds, a young woman on the periphery secretly wields the power to make or break the case, but with her own hidden past, will she dare to speak up? So this has already released, but I did get it as an ARC. It released on February 24th. I still haven't read it, but if you would like to see me read it, I will. It does sound interesting, I just don't know when I'm going to get to it. And then I got this. This showed up at my doorstep, and I was like, what is it? It was addressed to me. I hadn't ordered any more books. It was from Penguin Random House. Nobody has my address. I don't give out my address. What is this? And I was like, maybe it's a giveaway. But the thing is, every single email that I get from Goodreads, I open it. Whether it's just like a newsletter, or if it's, sorry you didn't win this giveaway, or if it's, you might want to enter this giveaway, or if it's, you want a giveaway. So you would think, especially if I won a giveaway, I would have found it. And I wish I hadn't. Like, I went back and I checked my emails. I was like, where is it? I was scrolling forever, and I finally did find it, so I do know what it is. It probably would have been more fun because I was like, what in the world is it? So it would have been more fun if I had not known what it was. But I am still so excited for it because this book I've been anticipating for a long time. And watch as it's not actually it, but it should be. I cannot believe that I won this book because I really want to read it. Let's take a look. I think it is it. It's hardcover, dang. It's James. It's James by Percival Everett. I like the size of it too. It's like not that large. So this is about Jim from Huckleberry Finn, which is one of my favorite books of all time. I really liked that one. It was just a really fun time. And when I learned that this was coming out, it just sounded so interesting. When Jim overhears that he is about to be sold to a man in New Orleans, separated from his wife and daughter forever, he runs away until he can formulate a plan. Meanwhile, Huck has faked his own death to escape his violent father. As all readers of American literature know, thus begins the dangerous and transcendent journey by raft down the Mississippi River toward the elusive and unreliable promise of the Free States and beyond. Brimming with the electrifying humor and lacerating observations that have made Everett a literary icon, this brilliant and tender novel radically illuminates Jim's agency, intelligence, and compassion as never before. James is destined to be a major publishing event and a cornerstone of 21st century American literature. It feels the same as the Animal Farm, whatever it's called. And a good animal. Yeah. Who knew I would win this? Literally so cool. Let's look at these. These ones I got from Free Little Libraries. If you watched my bookshelf tour, which you absolutely should, I talked about how I get so many books from Free Little Libraries. So let's go over these. The first one is Yolei's Favorite Things, and you may see that it looks a lot like the cover of The Sound of Music, and that is purposeful. Also, you know, the title, Favorite Things. So, 12-year-old Yolanda Sahagwan. Yep. An aspiring nun raised by strict Mexican immigrant parents likes to envision her family of 9 siblings as the Von Trapps from her favorite movie The Sound of Music, which takes place during World War II. But a larger-than-life family isn't the only thing Yoli has in common with her fictional friends. She, too, is coming of age as war looms large, this one in Vietnam. In Yoli's household, rules define everything, especially what the Sahagwan daughters are not old enough to do, like talk to boys on the phone. But there are no rules on the battlefield, and Yoli is old enough to understand that her draft-eligible favorite brother could be killed in war. Determined to protect him, Yoli makes a pact with God. But what happens if God doesn't keep his end of the bargain? I'm not sure. It sounds like it must be Christian fiction, because it seems like it really surrounds the faith. Margaret Ferguson books from Holiday House. Obviously, I've never heard of it, but like the title and the cover was like, oh, because I love The Sound of Music. So, okay, so I'm reading about the author right now. This is a prequel to 2 other books, Motorcycle Ride and The Sea of Tranquility. Sea of Tranquility sounds familiar. I have to look these up. It's middle grade. It sounds interesting. I'm down for it. And then, so this friend that I've been continually talking about, we've been talking about this one book and movie called Hamnet. And I had heard of the book, but I had not realized, and like, I like to be updated on movies that are coming out, because I love movies too. I had not realized that there's a Hamnet movie out now. So she had read the book and watched it. I think she watched it first and then she read the book. She was obsessed with it, so she was telling me all about it. She's like, you need to read it, my girl. So I found this, like, almost immediately after we were talking about it. It is Hamnet. Beautiful cover. Love it. By Maggie O'Farrell. So basically, I think this is like a retelling of the life of Shakespeare and how he created the story of Hamlet. Obviously, they took some liberties, but it also is about his life. Say, oh, she's from Northern Ireland, the author. I watched the trailer, and like just from the trailer, I was crying. Another hard-hitting book. So cool, though. I want to read Hamlet before I begin that, though, but this is, like, out of all these books, I'm probably going to read this one first. I then got The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo. I didn't actually really care for the movie, but this is a classic, and I would like to read it. There were obviously aspects of the movie that I did like, just the story and everything, So I would love to read this. I found Yellowface by R.F. Kuang, who is, a rising author. I've seen so many of her books that sound really interesting. As far as I know, it's about an author. I think she dies, and her best friend, who's also an author, publishes her book under her name. It's just like about the drama surrounding that. But this book has gotten so much love, so I would definitely like to see what the hype is. Then I got one of the largest romance books out there, not in terms of size, but just in terms of popularity. It is Beach Read by Emily Henry, and as far as I know, I think this is the book that got Haley Pham into reading again, and now she's like one of the biggest booktubers out there. So I'm excited to read it. I actually am. It's Emily Henry. This is like one of her most popular books. I gotta see what it's about. Augustus Everett is an acclaimed author of literary fiction. January Andrews writes best-selling romance. When she pens a happily ever after, he kills off his entire cast. They're polar opposites. In fact, the only thing they have in common is that for the next 3 months, they're living in neighboring beach houses, broke and bogged down with writer's block. Then one hazy evening, one thing leads to another, and they strike a deal designed to force them out of their creative ruts. Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy. In January, will pen the next great American novel. She'll take him on field trips worthy of any rom-com montage, and he'll take her to interview surviving members of backwoods death cult, obviously. Everyone will finish a book, and no one will fall in love. Really. I gotta read it. I have to. These ones, I went to half-priced books. Got a lot of books because, they're half-priced and looking good. The first one was in the clearance of half-price books. Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. I think this was also recommended by Chantel. Let's read it. What it's about. 20 years of modern classic about a sexual violence survivor finding her voice. Speak up for yourself. We want to know what you have to say. From the first moment of her freshman year at Meriwether High, Melinda knows this is a big fat lie, part of the nonsense of high school. She's friendless, outcast, because she busted an end of summer party by calling the cops, so nobody will talk to her, let alone listen to her. As time passes, she becomes increasingly isolated and practically stops talking altogether. Only her art class offers any solace, and it is through her work as an art project that she finally is able to face what really happened at that terrible party. Her healing process has just begun when she has another violent encounter. But this time, Melinda cannot stay silent. A timeless novel about consent and finding the courage to speak up for yourself. The 20th anniversary editions includes all bonus content, etc. So, sounds like I've got a lot of hard-hitting ones. This is YA, though, and obviously the party happened before this, so hopefully we don't have to read about this. But obviously we're going to talk about what happens after and how she's dealing with it, and sounds very, very traumatic, but okay. And then I got a good book. I got a fun book. Some of y'all are gonna be really happy about this. This is another Marissa Meyer. Guess what it is? It's the first book in the Lunar Chronicles. I love these covers better than the other ones, and so whenever I'm at thrift bookshops, I look for these ones because I have been wanting to read this for so long. These are retellings of the fairy tales, but they're sci-fi. And are they dystopian, guys? I don't know. I think they are. I'm pretty darn sure they are. I want to read this with my younger sister. She's about to begin the Keeper of the Lost City series. Guys, hype her up in the comments. Like, so excited for her. She's already hyped up because I'm hyping her up. But after she finishes that, I think it'd be so fun if we read this together. Like, she's finally growing up and we can start to read things together. So cool. Even in the future, the story begins with Once Upon a Time. Humans and androids crowd the raucous streets of New Beijing. A deadly plague ravages the population. From space, a ruthless lunar people watch, waiting to make their move. No one knows that Earth's fate hinges on one girl. 16-year-old Cinder, a gifted mechanic, is a cyborg. She's a second-class citizen with a mysterious past and is reviled by her stepmother. But when her life becomes intertwined with the handsome Prince Kai, she suddenly finds herself at the center of the intergalactic struggle and forbidden attraction. Caught between duty and freedom, loyalty and betrayal, she must uncover secrets about her past in order to protect the world's future. Sorry, there is something unusual about Cinder, something that others would kill for. Literally sounds so good, and I love to get into a good fantasy or sci-fi series that's long and just love. We've got another book. Basically, so these ones, when I went to Half Price Books, I went with that one dear friend of mine, and she basically handed this one to me, and she's like, you are gonna love this one. It is Strange the Dreamer. Do I know anything about it? No, so let's read about it. The dream chooses the dreamer. Laszlo Strange, war orphan and junior librarian, has been obsessed with the mystic lost city of Weep for as long as he can remember, but it would take someone bolder than he to cross half the world in search of it. Then a stunning opportunity presents itself in the person of a hero called the Godslayer, and a band of legendary warriors as he has to seize his chance or lose his dream forever. What happened to Weep in 200 years ago to cut it off from the rest of the world? What exactly did the Godslayer slay that went by the name of God? The answers await Weep, but so do more mysteries, including the blue-skinned goddess who appears in Laszlo's dreams. How did she dream of her before he knew she existed? In this sweeping and breathtaking novel by National Book Award finalist Laini Taylor, the shadow of the past is as real as the ghosts who haunt the citadel of murdered gods. Fall into a mystical world of dread and wonder, mods and nightmares, love and carnage. Welcome to Weep. Literally sounds so interesting, and it's like kind of thick. So I'm really excited about this. I love a thick fantasy book. I'm excited. Okay, then this is another book that I talked about in that one short that I talked about on this video. I've been wanting to read this for so long. It sounds so good. The book is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. This book has been around for quite a long time now, but ever since I started hearing people talk about it, I've been wanting to read it ever since. Dang it, there's no description. Oh, here. It has something on it. If anyone asks you how it ends, just lie. We are the Sinclairs. We live, at least in the summertime, on a private island off the coast of Massachusetts. Perhaps that is all you need to know, except that some of us are liars. I guess that's all we need to know after that. And then, this book was the one book that I came into that shop and I was like, I am going to get this book. The Whispering Skull. This is the second book in the Lockwood & Co. series. I read The Screaming Staircase, which was the first book in 2025. I've been wanting to read the rest of the series ever since, and here it is. And I like this cover the best. That's the one that I have for the first book, even though it's paperback. The originals just aren't as great and enticing, so we can't really read what this is about, but I'm excited to read it. This is the last stack, y'all. Thank you for being here. So grateful to all of you. These ones I did buy full price. I can't make an excuse. First up, we've got Unraveled by Shannon Messenger. And look at it! So this is a novella, believe it or not. I know, it's so short. But compared to the other ones, yes, it is very short. So this is while Stellarloon, which is the last book, was going on, my dear friend Keith was somewhere else. I'm not going to say anything because some people might not have read the series. And this is from his perspective. So I'm excited. I am. I did recently, actually, just before I started filming this, I got this comment from my last full-length video. Somebody was asking about content in this, so I will be reviewing that as well because this one has a little bit of content that was not present in the other ones, So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Okay, so this is the reason I was not planning on buying that book. I did go to the bookshop with the idea of getting this book. And then my little sister found that book and she was like, Margaret, look, it's special edition of the book that you still need to get. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get that, of course. It was the only one left too, and I didn't know like they had the sprayed edges. So cool. So the reason I went was to get Project Hail Mary, another book that I talked about in that one other short that I was talking about. The movie comes out in just a few days for me, and I would like to read it. I know I said I was going to read Hamnet next. I forgot about this. This is the book that I'm going to be picking up any day now. So cool. Let's read about it. A lone astronaut, an impossible mission, an ally he never imagined, right? I almost said Ryan Gosling. No. Ryland Grace is the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission, and if he fails, humanity and Earth itself will perish. Except that right now he doesn't know that. He can't even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how long to complete it. All he knows is that he's been asleep for a very long time and he's just been awakened to find himself millions of miles from home with nothing but 2 corpses for company. His crewmates dead, his memories fuzzily returning, Ryland realizes that an impossible task now confronts him. Hurtling through space on this tiny ship, he must puzzle out an impossible scientific mystery and conquer the extinction-level threat to our species. And with the clock ticking down and the nearest human being light years away, he's got to do it all alone. Or does he? Project Hail Mary is a tale of discovery, speculation, and survival to rival The Martian, which is also by this author, while taking us to places it never dreamed of going. I'm so excited. And the reason why I bought this book was because I know I will like it. Like, it has been recommended to me time and time again. I've been so aware of this for so long. Even before it was announced that there would be a movie for this, I was so excited to read this book. And now that there is a movie, I'm like, dang, I need to pick this up. Okay. The last book. I did not plan to have this as the last book, but it's honestly so perfect because this book I've been wanting to read for so long. And it's one of those books that would be such a huge accomplishment if I finish it. Because it is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, which is who also wrote The Hunchback of Notre Dame. I plan to read this year. A couple years ago, I had planned to read it over the summer. This is going to be my summer read of 2026. I have been searching for a copy for the longest time. Anytime I go book shopping, I always go and look for Victor Hugo because I want to buy a copy of Les Miserables. And I haven't been able to find an edition that I like or is not too expensive. So I decided I just needed to do it. My friend was with me and she does have really good advice. Like I trust her. Like I will make a decision if she makes it for me. Like 100%. There were 2 copies. They were both paperback. I prefer paperback, but I was also like, would it just break? I don't know. So there was one. If I find it, I'll show it over here. It was more durable and it's really cute. I really like it, but it was more expensive. It was a lot more expensive. And then there was this, which is the Signature Classics. It doesn't seem as durable, but it still seems like floppy enough. Like I can read this totally fine. Signature Classics I collect, so it's kind of perfect, and it's so much cheaper. So I went with this one. And guys, I'm so happy because one of my best friends was in the Les Mis play recently. I just saw it over the weekend. Blown away. And I had this and I'm like, I almost wanted to pick it up immediately. I was like, I need to read this. Because you don't even get everything from Les Mis. Like so much of it, I was like, wait a minute. Like, wait, you didn't give me enough of this character. Like, I need to learn more about it. And that's what this book is. Like, that's why it's so large. I'm so excited. Okay, I need to go. I really do. And I know I've kept you for a long time too. But I want to say thank you so much for being here throughout the whole thing. So excited. Book hauls are so fun. I've never done one before because I've never had one this large to make a full-length video, but here we are. Please, 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 I actually really mean it. Tell me which ones of these you've heard of and if you think I should read them soon, because a lot of these I actually don't know much about, and I don't have hype from anybody saying you should pick this up very soon. And like, so talk to me about it. Tell me the good things about it or the bad things. Like, should I not read some of these? Like, tell me. Let's talk about it. All right. I gotta let you go, but thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Bye.